Thanks, Mr. Azhar. So a couple of areas, I think it was just a very informative session for me. But just quick background, I've been working with offshoring in India for about 21 years, Pakistan for about 15 years, primarily from the US, but heavily involved in working with both countries, setting up teams in various capacities, larger companies and smaller companies. So I think a couple of key differences, and I've been recently hiring, we have a large team in Lahore, but I've been recently trying to hire in India as well. And the key thing that I just wanted to, I think, bring to everyone's attention is there is a significant salary difference. So Pakistan is about, I want to say 30 to 50% cheaper than India, when you are talking about under 5 years of experience people, right? So if you're hiring fresh grads, computer science, much more cost effective. As soon as you go above 5 years, there aren't people in Pakistan with more than, let's say, 10 years of experience. I mean, there are people, but they either own their own companies, and because there are like 1,000 small companies, it's just unable to hire people with more experience. And I think then I started looking into that. Like, why is that? One of the reasons is, we have a lot of people that go out of the country. The other is, I think some of the efforts by the government, or I'm not sure exactly why, but there's a huge effort in encouraging the freelance industry, right? So anyone with like 5 years of experience opens a little shop, has 3 people, and is making, I don't know, $5,000, $10,000 a month, having a really good lifestyle. But I think if I look at it for an industry to mature as a whole, we don't have companies with 100,000 employees, 50,000 employees. I think the largest one I believe is Systems with 3,500 or so employees. So I think we need to start. And I think my request would be for PSEP, Pasha, and organizations like that to start thinking and encouraging people in that direction, that it's okay to be an employee. And I think we need our organizations to scale the systems, the TechLogics. I mean, they need to scale up. So I think that would be one point of view. I think the other point of view is that we, the key difference between Indian IT and Pakistani IT is, when I look at Pakistani IT, we get, like, it's essentially all computer science graduates, right? So we're looking at computer science graduates who then we train, and my background comes from enterprise IT and not really from, gaming or any other thing. But, we get computer science people, and then we get them to implement an SAP ERP or financial package or something, right? And that's like the most expensive resource that we have, a GIK graduate or something, and then we're trying to train them to do something which is probably trivial. So I think it's important for us as an industry to get non-computer science people who cannot code, and I think that's how at least we put it internally. And GoSAS, what we've started doing that last couple of years, where we're going out to civil engineers, and we work in manufacturing a lot, and product lifecycle management. So we're working with mechanical engineering people. So I mean, at least more than half of our graduates were going outside of the typical computer science EE graduates. But we're tiny, so I think that's one of the key things when I look at Indian. I mean, I've done like probably 100 interviews in the last few months. I don't think I interviewed one person who was from IIT or anywhere, because we're just doing it for IT, some Oracle skill or something skill. But when I talk to people in Pakistan or IIT, or even their third-tier computer science universities, Madras University or something, I don't find them doing these types of things. They're all working in Microsoft Research Center in India or something, creating the next machine learning algorithms. But when I look at Pakistan, we find GIK graduates working on, integrations between some banking system and something else, which can be done by a far less expensively trained, right? Because these are people that the country has trained. So I think that would be one thought. I think my one tactical comment on the Pakistani companies trying to get business from Canada or North America in general would be to specialize. I think the everyone that I see, at least from my narrow sample size, is everybody throws in these horizontal buzzwords, right? Blockchain, AI, this, that. These are very, these are good if you're targeting companies that need, I think Mr. Jahan mentioned, if you're targeting companies that have a presence in Canada. But if you're looking for an end customer to work with you and you're really trying to build a big business, I think you really need to specialize, and I think it's very important for us to specialize, and I think that's where we don't have people specializing just in banking IT. We don't have like 20 companies doing that in Pakistan and focused around it, or manufacturing IT, or consumer packaged goods or pharmaceuticals, or just so vertical specialization or a domain specialization, right? There's a specific supply chain planning problem that we solve, and this is like 50 companies that do it in Pakistan. We unfortunately do not have that. So I think specialization, and I think that allows, there are a few companies who do that, and I think that allows you to train those people that are non-computer science people into, okay, this is all we're training them on, versus a very broad charter that, okay, here's everything that you need to know. So I think that would be my my suggestion or request, that focus on telecom, right? So if you get Roger Wireless as a customer, then you get TELUS as a customer. Well, for Bell Canada, you're an industry expert, right? You're much more valuable. So at least, even if you're doing generic stuff, just focus on few targeted industries and collect logos from an industry. That would be, I think, the biggest thing that we can do as an industry to have those sort of focused sectors, because we have a big supply problem, right? So we need to move higher in the value chain. We cannot be doing $2,000 a month type export per person. We have shortage of talented people. We need to move from 2,000 to 10,000 a month, average billing or something, to grow those numbers as a country. So I think that those are a couple of things. Other than that, I think everybody covered it well. I think one thing, which advice for if they're Canadian people or of Pakistani origin or Pakistani Canadians, however you view yourself, good time to move back. I think salaries are, as many speakers mentioned, skyrocketing in Pakistan. If you ever thought of moving back, I think there's a huge need there of people who have experience. Again, 8 years, 10 years, 20 years of experience. We just don't have those people. So time to consider moving back. I think that's how India really set up their industry. So I think more of us that can move back or spend more time there, that would be, I think that's a huge thing that we can do. That's it, Mr. Azhar. Back to you.